All right, we back. So, anyway, so that was the whole show. But his whole character, matter of fact, let me just show you the character. It's not like I don't have the video. Video's right here. The video's here. Okay, at 22 mark. Trying to find the shit where he pops on
this video. I hope you
work. You know what I'm saying?
nothing. Let's keep it.
You got like he's a dangerous man.
It seems like every single one of these men that pander to women, if you know, match up with them.
What you want to hear is a very dangerous man. They just said Ace Metaphor was smashing the whole crew. If you don't know who Ace Metaphor is, he's a pander bear. Man that panders to get what he wants speaks to you just like this right here.
Stop letting these men play in your face as if you're not beautiful, as if you're not worth it, as if there is a man right now praying to God to eventually meet you. You are somebody's E who finds a good thing.
And the whole time he's full of shit. I had an OG on here, right? His name was Pastor Poppy Don.
Yo, Fang, let me tell you something real quick. The way that he jumped into that shit, everything, yo, he hit on so many things. The main thing that he hit on, that he sold, that women like to kind of propagate, is this idea that all women are worthy of being wives, and all women should have the opportunity to be a wife, and all women should be honored as basically just the same. All women are the same. You know what I mean? And it's not, then there's no separation, there's no difference. All women should be basically not so much treated the same, but it doesn't matter like where she comes from, what's wrong with her, what she has going on, how she looks. All women deserve a happy ending. And that's the idea that modern women like to propagate, because if we say all women deserve a happy ending, or all women are worthy of being wives, and that means that no one really has to work hard to prove that, because it's just assumed that, oh, we're in a relationship, we boyfriend and girlfriend. So because what guys mostly be thinking is, oh man, you've been my girlfriend for a while, so I guess we get married now, right? Or let's say the guys in Love After Lockup, where they feel like they owe this person something, so they feel like, all right, well, I guess I'm go ahead and marry you now. But what goes on now is that women aren't competing to be wives in a way that makes the guy who can make you a wife want to make you a wife. They're competing in a way where what you have in mind is showing off for other women, or trying to impress other women, or doing things for the sake of the ego, and not saying, all right, what am I capable of doing in a situation? How much can I give in this situation? You understand? So, anywho, I'm gonna let him get into a little more of the history real quick.
He would pander just to get hoes. Like, he would pander just to get women. And it would be beautiful women too. Like, he would show me how he gets down. And I'm like, damn, all right, OG, I see you. But it's all a master plan to get you to sleep with them. It's that easy. All common sense. Most men think the same. So if you have a man coming out the woodworks just saying some outlandish bullshit, like, oh, and just telling you what you want to hear, you have to be like, okay, he's on to something. Like, he has a plan and he's gonna execute. You know what I'm saying? The power of the tongue is crazy. But most men think the same. Just like,
let me go ahead and clarify what he means when he says that most men think the same. When he's saying that most men think the same, what he's saying is that, but like, can I say? No one's above no one. Everyone can have a hero's journey, but no one's above a villain's arc. So that's one thing too, right? Some people touch on the fact that this guy gives the vibe like he wasn't necessarily any woman's first choice, so he had to make himself, you know what I'm saying, their first choice. But it's not wrong with coming out, because at the end of the day, I mean, my man doing business, right? But what he's also speaking to, how can I say? He's also speaking to power, right? And what again, depending on your upbringing, depending on your experience, how you handle power. But I guess the most obvious thing he's talking about is the fucking. Is when the smashing occurs. You know what I'm saying? And deeper than that, right? what women don't get is that another aspect of all men thinking the same is the desire for respect, the desire for cooperation, the desire for you to look good, the desire for to have exclusivity. Men again, it's been a big push for men to accept like three or four minded women. You know what I'm saying? And even to the point where the girls who would have been the good girls who are now influenced by like 3 or 4 mentality. You know what I'm saying? So you see a lot of that go on with like the whole like gold digger fantasy that modern women like they kind of like to get into this gold digger like sugar baby fantasy where it's like a whole fantasy where it's like I if I want to have a guy with money, it's as simple as me just saying I want a guy with money. Like that's dead ass what women do. When women call themselves raising their standards and whatnot, saying that I've had a really crappy experience dating. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to simply just say, all right. So the other guys I was dealing with, they was broke. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just say I only date guys that make this much money. Doesn't matter if I actually execute on that, if it actually happens. I'm just going to date it. And as simple as that. I think one of the clearest examples that comes to mind is when you hear black women talk about dating white men and non-black men. And they always talk about it as if it's as simple as now I date white men and now I'm going to have access to all these successful, attractive white men who are waiting to date me. You know what I'm saying? Like my last episode, talking about Kaylee and Hunter and Kate. That's a divested love triangle. Kate is Hunter's real girlfriend on the outside. Kaylee is one of the tricks that Kate encouraged Hunter to go meet on one of these prison websites so that he can get money because she didn't want to give him any money while he was in jail. Right? That was the whole thing. Hunter's in there giving out the boyfriend experience where he's really pretending to be these girls' boyfriends and they're coming to see him because Kaylee wasn't the only one coming to see him, but Kaylee was in there giving, as Hunter said, hand jiggers. I'm not one for XJ, but a hand jigger, I ain't gonna lie. Sounds kind of fly. Y'all give it up for the hand jiggers. So anywho. So going back to what he means by all men think the same. So a part of the product that Ace Manifold put together was, for one, he learned from the best. You know what I'm saying? He learned from the other architects. The first one, the original architect, is really Steve Harvey with that whole like think like a man shit. You know what I mean? Where he sold it basically was a fantasy. Now again, I'm not going to lie and act like I'm guessing what the shit was about. But it did. But again, the book wasn't about helping women to have a healthy and respectful relationship for men. It was marketed as, I'm going to teach you how to outthink him. I'm going to teach you how, and that's another thing too about righteousness. We starting to realize that women are attracted to any kind of content, movie, music, anything that's about manipulating and dominating men and having your way with men. I'm just saying, like y'all really gravitate towards that. You know what I mean? But so yeah, there's that. I want to make this last point. Overall, right? He knows that black women want to have a person that they can champion and listen to. It's still a man. It sounds like a man. And for the most part, it is a human man. But they want that man to be, again, it's like prawn. It's like watching corn. Like, you want this person to do things in a much more dramatic and animated and just pronounced way than you would normally do it. You know what I'm saying? And the thing I'm talking about them doing is, again, the pandering. Tell them what they want to hear. The intention that you put behind things is so important because again, that's why it's so important that the heart is so important. Your faith is so important because because it's like then because there's nothing guiding you in a more morally. And one of the reasons why women always can get caught up in with guys like this and can always get caught up in becoming fans of guys like this, and part of that's because like the maturity. You haven't matured to the point where you look for the people that you listen to or that you engage in, or I don't know, people you're around, you talk to, and fraternize with, whatever. You don't look for them to be good people. You don't look to say where are your morals. You look at them and judge them by basically how do I benefit or what's in it for me. It's really important to know what someone's good qualities are and appreciate good qualities in someone, not just what can I get from that person or what can I. And for the most part, a lot of what women can get from men is their time, effort, and I'm saying, and I'm sorry, man. If anyone's doing emotional labor, don't get me wrong. Emotional labor is a stupid term. Because listen, don't get me wrong. Emotional labor sounds fly. Emotional labor sounds like, oh my God, you had to do emotional labor, but it's one of those words where like it depends on the heart of the person who uses it. If it'll be used for good or evil, right? But anywho, you know what? I'm gonna leave that there. So I want to go ahead and share some of this clip from Keita Rose. I'm going to give her flowers. She is doing some good storytelling. Now that I've heard her like delivery a few times, I can kind of get into it. It's very overwhelming. It's very tough. I ain't gonna lie. Like I have nightmares about Keita Rose. I don't think I would do good in any kind of back and forth with Keita Rose. I feel like I'll just freeze up. All right, fair use.
Really pissing me off. Number one, I'm not one of those friends that fall out with a friend